Hi, and welcome back to Social Studies with Miss Wardell. So today we're on page 101. We're going to do 101 and 102 in our chapter 15 about European explorers. Here we're talking about Ferdinand Magellan sails around the world. Ferdinand Magellan was an explorer born in Portugal. However, it was Spain that paid for his voyage. Man, Spain's got a lot of game, right? A lot of skin in the game. They're supplying a lot of money. Really invested. Magellan's goal was to find the western sea route to the Spice Islands in Asia. In 1519, Magellan set sail. He traveled southwest from Europe with 5 ships. I'm going to say he traveled southwest from Europe with 5 ships. Just to remember. Magellan first landed in the area today known as Brazil. He and his ships sailed southwest across the coast of South America. And every time they found a river outlet, they sailed inland, hoping it would take them back across the continent. And each time it did not. They had to sail back down the river and continue along the coast. And finally, Magellan and his men found their way across South America. By sailing through a strait near the tip of the continent, Magellan named the new body of water on the other side Pacific, meaning peaceful, because it seemed much calmer than the Atlantic Ocean. Magellan and his men continued west across the Pacific Ocean. They sailed west for more than 3 months with no sight of land. Magellan's crew was starving, and many men died along the way. Then, in March 1521, Magellan and his ships landed at the group of islands in Asia. What? So, in March of 1521, they landed in Asia. Magellan died before the ship set sail again. But 18 survivors did continue west, making it all the way back to Spain. Magellan's expedition was first to circumnavigate Earth. That means to travel all the way around the world. I'm going to put an arrow here to remember that. Magellan was the first person to cross the Pacific Ocean. Magellan was the first European to sail through what today is known as the Strait of Magellan, and all that happened on the voyage, or on one voyage. Wow, that's a lot. Magellan's explorations provided new knowledge of the world. His trip also helped people learn more about which routes would get ships to Asia fastest. Man, where did that time go in just one voyage, right? So they arrived in Spain. It was one day later they expected, and they were the first to report his difference. Later, explorers reported the same observations. Now we know what caused that problem. Days were only 24 hours, and if you stay in one place, since Earth rotates, days are slightly shorter, and if you travel east, and longer if you travel west. And days are slightly shorter if you travel east, and longer if you travel west. And by the time they traveled west all the way around Earth, they had lost an entire day. That's what happens. That's why we have time zones. Here, this is a map of Magellan's route, right? His expedition. So, he starts in Europe, so here at D, and he goes all the way down, comes down on this side, goes all the way back up, and finally. So, write a letter from the map. So, Magellan named this peaceful ocean. Magellan's expedition began and ended here. Ooh. It starts and ends here at D in Europe. So here, we're going to put D. Sorry about that. So Magellan named this peaceful ocean. Well, here, this is the only one out in the ocean. A. Magellan spent a year trying to find a way across this continent. Where did he... Well, he was stuck here a long time in this South America, and this is the only continent. Oh, well, there's Africa, but yeah, B. F. Magellan's, and it also never mentioned Africa or, well, it does mention Asia. It does not mention Africa. Magellan's surviving crew sailed this part of the journey after he died. So once they reach over here, they continued on, right? Once they get to this Asia, they continued. So from F all the way to D, they continued. So F is where they start without him. And many of Magellan's crew died of starvation on this stretch of the journey. Ooh, so here, this definitely, well, this could even be A right here, because once they crossed this ocean, it said that they were starving. So we could put A here also, because even along this area, it says that some of them were starving, right? And when they got to this Pacific Ocean. Which means that we're only missing 3. Magellan reaches Asia when he landed here. Well, it's not C. It's got to be H around here. So Asia. And the last part says, what did people from Magellan's expedition? What did people learn from Magellan's expedition? First, list all that you can and think of big effects in addition to what you read. Then circle the 3 most important. So, you might include something like journeying to South America, finding the other side of South America. You might include the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. You might include traveling around the earth. I want you to do this one for independent practice, okay? So this is independent practice. Okay? So make sure that you list all that was important from his expedition. Bye, guys.